Hey! Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a do's and don'ts video, things you should probably avoid and things you should do to get a flawless makeup application. Now we're all guilty of doing some of these at some point of our lives. I just like to blame the trends. Things like blending is pretty much like 100% important. Without further ado, I'm going to do the do's, so the good side of my face on the right, and don'ts on the left side of my face, so that's the no-nos. So the first thing I'm doing is applying some primer on my face. Now I'll be very honest with you guys, I do not see the difference between applying primer and not applying primer on my skin. I know it works really well for other people. The only primer that I do really like is the green primers that you apply for people who have rosacea or they have fair skin that tends to go a little bit red. That's the only one that I like, but personally on my skin, I honestly don't think it makes any difference. Maybe it's just my skin type, but I'm not going to tell you that it is not essential because I know that something that might not work for me might work for you. And on my left side, I'm not going in with primer and I'm using a foundation color that is darker than my skin tone. Now I know there's people who actually prefer their foundation to be a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, but a foundation that is too dark or too light will make you look two-toned as it will not match your neck color. The best way to test a foundation shade is to blend it out on your neck, and if it disappears then that's a perfect shade for you. And I know guys, the struggle is real when it comes to finding the perfect match for your foundation. I still have maybe one or two foundations out of my 50 that I have that match me perfectly. Other than that, they are slightly darker or slightly lighter. But it is so hard. I don't know why, but it's so hard to find the perfect color that matches my neck. Also, it is ideal to use a blending brush, like a buffing brush or a beauty blender to blend out the foundation instead of your fingers, because it's a lot less messier. It gives you more of a flawless finish to your foundation. For my right side, I'm applying the foundation that is the closest color to my own skin tone. This is the MAC Studio Fix in NC30, and honestly I have not found any other foundation that matches me perfectly. I have found better formulas where I'm like obsessed with the formulas like Makeup Forever, but it's still not the right color. This one is just a perfect color that matches me. And using the beauty blender is my favorite way to apply foundation, as it's just very flawless. My favorite types of concealers to use are the ones with a peachy undertone, so I just pat them very lightly with a very small amount of product. Since those annoying creases that we all have lie just underneath the lash line, I don't like to concentrate my product over there, so I take the concealer on the hollows just underneath and build the product up. That way you don't get too much concealer build up and it doesn't sink into your creases. For the concealer for the left side of my face, I'm going in with a really light concealer. Firstly, you don't need to go that light. You can still go like, a couple shades lighter than your foundation color, and that still highlights underneath. And also, if you do use a concealer that's really light, make sure you blend it out in an upside down triangle. That way it's more blended and it doesn't look so harsh underneath the eyes. Contouring is a big trend right now and I've seen it gone wrong so many times. So the first thing you should always do before contouring is to set your foundation with a powder. Not only does that affect the longevity of your foundation, it also helps blend in the contour better. As you can see here, I didn't powder my foundation and it's catching on, it's becoming patchy and it doesn't look good at all. Now with the right side of my face, I'm setting my foundation first, then going in with my contour with just a medium shade. I like to imagine a line from the top of my ear to the end of my mouth, but I don't like to take it all the way down to my mouth, so just on sort of where I'm putting it now. To deepen up my contour just a little bit, I'm using the same color as I did on the other side, but on the other side I just went on with it first. Here I'm just sort of building it up to how intense I want it. When it comes to blush, you want to use the right shade for your skin tone. Sometimes people don't suit a certain color, but here I'm just randomly applying a blush that kind of just doesn't even show because my contour is so dark. For blush, personally, I love to use a small fluffy brush so I have more control over my application, and I like to concentrate it on the apples of my cheeks and bringing it up with the contour to blend everything nicely. Brow time! Now my brows are a struggle as I love the brows that look absolutely identical. However, I have very strong yet uneven brows. I also have a spot at the start of my left brow, so I can't really do that really nice faded out look, which I absolutely love, but I always try to make them look related. For my left side, I'm doing a very blocky eyebrow, which you don't really want to do because it doesn't look good, to be honest. It just looks like you've textured the brows onto your face, and it's just too harsh. On the right side of my face, I'm starting off my brows on the outer edge, and it's okay if that side is a little bit more intense. I don't usually pick up more product for the inner part of my eyebrow. I just use whatever's left on the brush and very lightly do upward strokes just to blend everything in. Now it is really important to prime your eyes before you start your eyeshadows because it gives you a clearer canvas to work with, it makes the colors very vivid, and it helps your eyeshadows last for the whole day. Now this primer I do believe in. Using the same concept as powdering your foundation, you do want to powder your primer, as blending powder on top of powder gives you the best results. What you don't want to do is use a transition shade which is too dark all of a sudden. What you do want to do is use a light transition shade so you can build on the intensity of your eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the same eyeshadows on both eyes so you can have a look how application really does matter. Now you don't want to go in with a dark eyeshadow all of a sudden and take it really high up in the brow bone. Instead, use a smaller blending brush and just place your eyeshadows just below your crease and creating a little U just on the outer edge. Now use a brush that is slightly bigger and fluffy yet no product on it, and use this just to blend out the harsh edges. Another don't is not to use a big fluffy brush to apply black eyeshadow. Just make your life a little bit easier and use a small brush to apply your black eyeshadow close to your lash line. Start from there, go higher up. You have more control with a small brush. And then using that clean blending brush again to eliminate any harsh edges. Now for the mobile lid on the don't side, I'm going to be using silver. I dislike silver like no tomorrow. It is my least favorite color to use. Silver and blue. Especially older ladies, they tend to ask for like a silver smoky eye and light pink lips. I die. But pretty much any color you use on the mobile lid, as long as it's blended, it looks fine. On the right side, instead of silver, I'm going in with a champagne shade. This is Kitten by Stila. It is my absolutely favorite eyeshadow to use. And as usual, making sure that both of those colors are blended well together. For my left side, I'm applying a black liner in my waterline. Personally, I try to avoid the black liner as much as I can, just because your eyes have natural water that make the product a little bit patchy. It runs down a little bit on some people and it makes your eyes look smaller. But it really completes the look if you're going for a really dramatic smoky eye. If you are applying the black liner, just make sure that it is not patchy and you might need to reapply it during the day. Using a cream colored eyeliner is my absolute favorite way to go. It opens up the eyes, makes them look brighter, and looks really nice in photos. And it doesn't have that patchy effect that black eyeliner sometimes has. Now I like to take a small brush and blend some eyeshadow on my lower lash line. If you'd like to have an intense look, use the same black as you did on the top, or use a transition shade if you'd like to go for a less intense look. I know so many people love the wing eyeliner, whether it's achievable on their eye or not. Trust me when I say if you cannot pull off the winged liner, just don't do it. The winged eyeliner can either make you look really, really good or really, really, really bad. It was so hard to do a bad liner on my eye because I'm so pedantic about it. The easiest way to start off a winged liner is to first line the top of your lash line. So I like to do it in really small increments and connecting them together and just making sure that it's really close to my lashes. Everyone knows that rule where people say that your liner is meant to flick out and match your brow at the end. I honestly don't believe that because everyone has different shaped brows. And if your brow doesn't extend out to that much or you haven't drawn it that far, your eyeliner will look uneven on both eyes. After I've lined my top lash line, I like to just create the flick and then connect the two together and smoothing it out so there's no bumps. If you would like to see a more in-depth tutorial on the winged eyeliner, let me know and I will do one. To make the wing look a bit more sharper or clean up the edges if you made any boo-boos, you can always use a flat brush and use concealer, foundation or makeup remover to clean that up a little bit. With mascara, you don't want it to look clumpy, you want it to look really nice and feathered out brows. Brows? No, lashes. It's helpful to look down and then apply mascara, because if you're looking up or you have the mirror right in front of your eye, you can get the mascara on your eyeshadows and you don't want to ruin that. When highlighting your inner corners and your brow bone, it's good to not overdo it. These areas look really nice if they're subtly done. Using small brushes will honestly be your best friend when it comes to makeup application. So use a small brush and make sure everything is very seamlessly blended. It also helps to not have too much product on your brush, so make sure that you're always dusting off the excess product. When it comes to lashes, the first thing you need to do is to trim your lashes. Don't apply the lash glue so it's messy on the lash. Being clean with the glue also helps you reuse the lashes more amount of times. But if you're like me and you have sensitive eyes, you're definitely going to have those bad days when applying lashes. Sometimes my eyes just water like crazy and then the lashes don't stick. In that case, the best thing you can do is just take the lash off, let your eyes relax a little bit, because no matter how many times you've reapplied the glue will not stick if your eyes are wet. So best to just take a little breather and let them relax a little bit. And the most important thing when applying lashes is that both ends are stuck really close to your own lash line and you'll be fine. So measuring the lashes, cutting off the excess, apply an even coat of the glue, twist the lash band so it becomes more flexible, place the eyelash in the middle and use the tweezers to adjust, ensuring that both ends are stuck. Pinching the real and falsies together so they marry well together, and then if they look slightly uneven, you can go in with the liquid liner and go on top to make it look more even. Now for my favorite part of the makeup, doing the highlighter. It's best not to pack it on because too much highlighter can make your skin look sweaty or just too lit. And also avoid using a big brush when applying highlighter. So I like to use a small fluffy brush and just focus on the high points of my face and also dusting off the excess product. Just use small brushes for almost all of your makeup application. It will make your life so much easier. As for lips, the first thing I would say is go with a shade that's really flattering to your skin tone. Now I overdraw my lips all the time and it's fine to do so, but don't take it too far because otherwise that just looks like you have swollen lips. So on the right side I'm applying Faded by Lime Crime. It's one of my absolute favorite shades to go for. And you can also contour your lips by taking a bronzer and just dusting it in your cupid's bow and underneath your lip. So here's a comparison for you guys, and that is the end of the video. Hopefully you guys were able to pick up some tips. If not, hopefully you just enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye!